the guy on the excavator is actually my cousin on my mom's side. Listen, I know we just got really good looking guys in our family, but he is married, ladies. Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and we're back out at the Mill Creek cabin property. Not necessarily working on the cabin too much today, but we are starting the big project. Well, it was supposed to be the first project I really wanted to get going out here. Today, we're going to be digging out the pond. You guys know that we cleaned the pond, drained it all out with that big trash pump the other day. But right now, I hear an excavator and a dozer creeping down the driveway. I've been waiting on them. It's 11:30. They were supposed to be here this morning. So, been moving equipment all morning, but they're here, and we're fixing to get started making this pond a lot bigger. It really is hard to watch some of these big, nice shade trees get knocked over, but it's necessary because here's the problem. Our dam is nowhere near wide enough, really, honestly. It's just about as wide as one, like a car width wide. And what we're going to do is take all the mud out of the bottom of this pond dam and go over the back and just keep pushing and keep pushing. So we need to take all the trees off the pond dam. One, because it's not good to have all those roots digging down into our pond dam. That's going to bust our dam up. And two, if we just pushed all the mud around the trees, then we'd kill the trees. So got to take them out.
No, it's hot.
It is very warm. Day two, and it's about lunchtime. We didn't make it over here this morning. We had a lot of other stuff to do, but day two, they've already got all the big willow trees out of the middle of the pond, working on basically cutting a big trench where those willow trees were. There's an old creek that flows in there, a dry creek, basically just a drainage ditch. But he found the spillway pipe this morning, and I think it's probably been here 50, 60 something years. May need to have some modifications done to it, but I'll show you what we're doing right now. Basically, he's dug a big trench down in the softer mud and trying to drain as much of the water as he can, and then just dumping it into the spillway pipe. So it is working. It is flowing water all the way under the dam and out the other side. Just don't know how good a shape it's really in. So there's two main ditches that feed this pond when it rains. It catches water, and the main one, basically what had happened over the years is it had filled in and basically formed a big island. So right here's where those big willow trees were. There's like a 9 billion frogs out here. Earl, dude, you gotta ride in the truck. So this had basically turned into an island over the years of silt and fill and all that. And as those willow trees grew and rooted, it caused more dirt to build up when this old ditch would carry water. So they dug a pretty good sized ditch. I mean, this is probably, it's hard to tell on camera, I know, but probably 6 or 8 feet deep from here compared to a ground level here. And all of this will be the pond eventually. There's just gonna be a lot of dirt to take out. I doubt he'll dig it out that deep, but we'll make sure that ditch gets good and clean. The dozer's doing his thing, taking a little at a time, and eventually he's trying to get as much water out of here as he can and just scooping right now and dumping, but eventually we'll start using the dozer to push dirt up on the dam and then the excavator to put it over on the back side and basically take everything. All of this is just going to go across the dam and make the dam a lot bigger. Earl, dude, you're just trying to get me in trouble, aren't you? So you can tell, like, all of this is just silt from years and years of, you know, the pond catching water, filling in these ditches, filling in, and then just settling in here. This is all, you know, just silt from decades of floods and stuff. And there's several feet of that, but there is good clay underneath, so that's good. And the farther back towards the pond you get, it looks like there's a little bit of sand back here, but we'll do some more digging and see what it looks like. But there's a good amount of clay, which is what we need to hold the water in the pond. So as he's been digging it out, you know, kind of paying attention to what it looks like, this is just solid clay, and we'll be able to pack that in the bottom of the pond hopefully and keep it from leaking. Earl, bro, come on, man. The guy on the excavator is actually my cousin on my mom's side. I know we just got really good looking guys in our family, but he is married, ladies. He's married, but this is his construction company. He owns all this stuff, and this is what he does for a living and has for a long time. So it's awesome to be able to get to hire family to come in and help me do this. And actually, I don't know if you guys can see, there's 3 or 4 trucks parked over here. Buck, the guy that we bought this property from, is here. I called him this morning and said, hey, the guys are working on the pond, and just to refresh your memory if you guys aren't aware, Buck is in his 70s and has owned this property, or his family has owned this property his whole life. This was his grandpa's, and one of his dreams for this property was to clean off the pond dam and redo the pond, and we're finally getting to fulfill that dream for him. And it's exciting. I know he's excited. He's been out here all day watching, and he's got a couple friends that used to hunt out here that he's called, and they're checking it out. So this is what I love to do. This is awesome, to take a piece of property that meant so much to somebody and be able to purchase it and pour some money into it, pour some work into it, and transform it into something totally different. Is just awesome. I don't have a clue how long we'll own this property. You know, we're going to make a really nice big pond out of it. We'll stock it with fish and everything. We may have it for the next 30 years, or we may have it for 3 years. I don't know yet, but property management and making this place look awesome is so much fun. Back for day 3 of the pond build. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. These guys got started at 8, around 8 this morning, and it's starting to look like a pond. It's amazing how much bigger it looks, just taking those big willow trees and that big island out of the middle. But they're working on making the middle of the pond a lot deeper right now, so you can see the bulldozers just pushing mud and dirt up to the top of the dam, and then they're using the excavator to set it over the other side. So hopefully when we get done, the dam's going to be a lot wider, and this side will slope off a lot more of a gentle slope, probably carry on out into this area, so it won't be so steep, and we can mow and keep it clean, keep the trees from growing up, and it's just a great place to put all this extra dirt. All right, day 5. We skipped day 4. I didn't make it out here on day 4. Emily had too many ball games and too many other things going on. I didn't even get to come see it yesterday. Day 5 looks a lot different. Check this out. Now, I want you guys to understand, that camera does slopes no justice at all. Everything looks really flat on camera. But to start with, we got the dam a lot wider and a lot less slope on the back of the dam. Obviously he's still working, but the dam's going to be almost probably twice as wide, and we'll be able to mow the back. But look at the difference. Now, I'm not exactly sure how deep the pond is right now. We'll have to put a laser transit on it to see. They cleaned out around the spillway pipe over there. It's actually in really good shape. May have a few bullet holes in it, but I think we can patch that and fix that. But out here in the pond, we're at least more than double the depth that we were just looking at the top of the dam, and the thing is getting bigger and bigger. So out here in the middle, we're hoping for about 10 feet, somewhere between 8 and 10 feet for the main portion off the front of the dam. It would be nice to have it, 15, 18 feet, but this is going to be a pretty good sized body of water that's 8 to 10 feet deep, and it will actually flood up into this flat area up here. And when I say flood, it'll be a couple feet deep up there. And the trees on the far side here, you can see water lines on those trees 2 feet up on the tree. So there's still a lot of pond. I'm kind of hoping we can get a lot of that cleaned out. I had a buddy that was supposed to be here with a mulcher, but he hadn't got here yet. But we'll clean out around the pond all the way. And this is where the main creek channel feeds into. That high spot right there is where all those giant willow trees were. So the creek will flow in. It's got I'm not gonna say a catch basin, but basically a place for when it floods, for the dirt and the mud to settle before it makes it into the main part of the pond. But we're coming along. We're getting pretty deep. But here's the catch. Today's Friday. This is day 5. They're actually going to work tomorrow on Saturday. But believe it or not, our weather guessers all over the news are guessing. You may not believe me. I'm really not sure I believe it. But they're predicting 3 to 4 inches of rain between Saturday night and Monday. Talk about timing. I'm not going to say it's going to happen because I'll jinx it. But we've been trying to get this pond project done for months. And now we're on a time crunch because there's like 100% chance of rain. Hopefully when they say 3 to 4 inches, they don't mean 3 to 4 inches in between raindrops. Hopefully we get 3 or 4 inches rain. It'll be awesome to see what 3 or 4 inches of rain can put in this pond now that it's cleaned out. Obviously not finished. He's still trying to make it deeper down on that end of the dam towards the far end, and get some better dirt to kind of smooth the dam up. I mean, you can see it's still pretty rough right here, but they basically work on it for a little while and then let it dry, because some of that clay just takes days to dry. So they'll work in a couple areas like this. They've got this area pretty well smoothed out. You can see it gets really rough here. This is not complete. So we're coming along. We're gonna have a pond before you know it. Back for day 6. Today's Saturday. We do have a really high chance of rain tomorrow still. So today he's basically finishing up the final grade of the dam on the inside of the pond. Let me switch this around for you guys real quick. So we're not complete, but if we do get 3 or 4 inches of rain, we want the inside of the pond as completed as possible. So this looks a lot better than it did yesterday. The back side of the dam is still, still has a lot of work. But if we get 3 or 4 inches of rain, this can all dry out and we can do the final grade on that later. The main thing is, got everything cleaned out of the pond, all the old muck and dirt and trees, and I will be adding structure. I will be adding fish habitat and all that stuff later. But obviously, there's no time to do that right now since it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Now the bottom's not perfectly flat, or perfectly smooth, let's say that. We added a lot of contour in, tried to do some things to make it better for fish habitat, and it really doesn't show up on video at all. But like this yesterday, before Branham left and needed to get out of here, he brought the excavator down here and dug out a big trench. Basically, really what they needed was more good dry dirt to really put a good angle on that pond dam. So this is dug out probably, that side right there is about 2 feet tall, so that adds some good depth and a place for, once this is full, obviously that end of the pond is going to be a little more shallow, but then you got this deep trench out here, so it'll be a good place for fish habitat. We can probably sink some brush piles and some structure down in and around this, and good place for bass to go to ambush some bait fish. But this pond is turning out really big. Well, that's where we're going to wrap it up for this video, and the pond build is well underway. Pretty much mostly done. Got to finish the final grade on the dam and stuff, but he said he should be able to get most of this knocked out today, if not all of it. And then we'll have to come back and finish up our emergency spillway. We're at the very end of the dam right here. We're going to have an emergency spillway that goes around. We do have the fill pipe, but it's good to have an emergency spillway in case that fill pipe gets full of trees and debris and stuff during a flood, and have that water somewhere to go so it doesn't wash out your dam. But anyways, this pond has come a long ways. This property has come a long ways just in the short amount of time that we've owned it. And it was just a couple months ago, this was just a solid wall of trees on the dam and barely any water and a nasty mud hole. And pretty soon it's gonna be a nice pond. So guys, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have a great day, and as always, we'll see you on the next video.